Is Nvidia overvalued? You might have seen articles about Nvidia being worth around $4 trillion. They're the first company to be worth $4 trillion, which is an insane amount of money. But if Nvidia is worth $4 trillion, why does one stock of Nvidia only cost $170 when Microsoft, valued around $3.7 trillion, has each stock costing $500? To answer that question and the follow-up question of are these companies overvalued, we have to figure out what a stock is. What is a stock? A stock, also called shares, is part of a company. When you buy a stock, you are buying part of a company. Although you are not buying a lot of the company, you are buying fractions of a percent of a company, since companies issue a lot of stocks. All the total stock of a company is called outstanding shares. Share is an alternative name for stock. How many outstanding shares does Nvidia have? 24.3 billion outstanding shares. Microsoft only has 7.4 billion outstanding shares. So that answers the question of why Nvidia stock is $170. Investors think Nvidia is worth $4 trillion, and Nvidia issued 24 billion shares. So dividing 4 trillion by 24 billion is around $170. But is Nvidia really worth $4 trillion? No. Nvidia is not worth $4 trillion because 40% of their current earnings is relying on big tech buying their chips. That alone makes it questionable if they will keep making this much profit. Nvidia's $4 trillion value is based on big tech wanting to not only keep buying AI chips, but buying more AI chips. But investors are starting to feel like this amount of spending on AI is a waste of money, and they'll pressure these big tech companies to spend less on AI chips. That will result in less profits for Nvidia, and their $4 trillion evaluation will drop because of that. So Nvidia will have to do something about that possibility. That might be why Nvidia is doing a $60 billion stock buyback, to try to pump their stock price so it doesn't crash. Why else would Nvidia do a stock buyback? Their stock certainly isn't undervalued. Nvidia's data center profits are impressive, but that's right now. They won't keep making this much profit in the future. If you're wondering what FY26 is, that's fiscal year. Fiscal year is the year of a company's finances. Nvidia ends their fiscal years on the end of January. They're the exception. Usually fiscal years end on the end of December. When looking at the simplified earnings report, well, right now they earn that much. In October of 2022, Nvidia was worth $12.50. Their earnings then was when data centers were starting to become a thing, but wasn't 80% of Nvidia's profits. Nvidia might drop to $45, like in this 2023 income statement. There's still going to be demand for data centers due to the potential of AI, but Nvidia is going to lose a lot of its value in the future because we're in an AI bubble. If you want to start a company, try making an AI. It'll make your company more valuable and you'll get free money. Don't try to make a ChatGPT clone. Most ChatGPT users will only use ChatGPT. With the Federal Reserve planning to cut interest rates, that'll make borrowing money cheaper, which will help fund more startups. Small companies could find ways to innovate with specialized AI, but big tech eventually has to lower their AI spending since they're a corporation. Their goal is to make money. Companies can't burn money forever. Just look at Uber. Uber is an example of a company that has lost money for years before eventually becoming profitable. Uber initially got a lot of customers by being cheaper or more convenient than taxis. They lost money, but it was a way to get a lot of the market before raising prices. Now Uber is making a profit. What caused Uber to make a profit? They increased the rides prices and lowered the driver's share of the fare with upfront pricing, which is ironic because it's less upfront. It's less upfront because they use the algorithms to determine how much a user will spend for a fare and how much a driver will earn from the fare. Using algorithms with years of data plus hiding how much a fare would cost lets Uber charge the customers more and pays the drivers less. Uber, the glorious and greatest tech company, eventually found a way to increase profits. And in this case, they charged more for fares and paid drivers less. Something similar might happen. Big tech might charge you more for products with AI by saying a lot of their products or services are AI powered. And because of AI, they are significantly better. So you need to pay more for the products or services. Big tech could also lower the amount they spend on Nvidia chips, since all of the big tech companies spending on AI chips added up is at least $300 billion. Big tech is probably going to do both, charging you more for products with AI and lowering the amount spent on Nvidia chips. But big tech is currently spending more on AI chips in hopes it generates a profit. The question is, will AI spending be profitable for these big tech companies? Well, let's ask ourselves, have they made anything that can significantly change our lives? That isn't just a ChatGPT clone, since ChatGPT has already changed people's lives in a good and bad way. No, big tech hasn't made something that changed people's lives. If big tech already had something like that, they would have sold it to us already. Plus, a growing amount of people are starting to hate the idea of AI being involved in products or services at all. While these wannabe revolutionaries want to act edgy and that they'll change the world by calling a robot a clanker, these people are constantly online and would have been perfect customers for generative AI. So trying to convince the public to buy something because of AI will get harder. Well, what if AI can make workers significantly more productive than before, which might make up for the AI costs? Well, AI is not making workers way more productive, because there's an MIT report that shows that 95% of companies using generative AI have gotten zero return from it. The report summarized is most companies don't change their work culture and just try to make their AI without thinking how to use it. The AIs should try to do work that's similar to looking through and completing documents. As an example, companies that make generalist AIs don't make as good of a return as specialized AIs. Big tech has been trying to make AIs that do everything, so their spending is definitely wasted. So the public is less positive about AI, and companies aren't getting a return from it. But big tech might still spend more on AI for a few years? Nope. because Meta is deciding, okay guys, we don't think we should spend more on AI related projects since they freezed AI hiring. This comes from the company that spent billions of dollars on recruiting what looks like the best people for AI. Meta would give millions to hire AI researchers and billions to hire CEOs related to AI. Meta thinking we're spending too much on AI means that other big companies will start asking that question, and when that happens, Nvidia won't be worth $170 anymore. It'll slowly drop to a lower price. Thanks for watching, and I'll give you a stock of my subscription for free.